Hi, this is Matt with Inmate Search Info. Today we're going to be looking at how to find Utah inmates. The Utah Department of Corrections offers a searchable database of current Utah inmates. So you're going to be able to do that search by one of two ways. One, if you happen to have the Utah Department of Corrections offender number, you can pop that in this field and get taken directly to that person. If not, you're going to have to search by name. And one thing that's unique about Utah is that they require that you put something in the first name and the last name field. Now, you don't have to put a complete first and last name. You can do sort of a first initial for first name and then the full last name, or a couple of different combinations, but you do have to put something in both. Now, some states will do that because they have so many inmates that they want to filter out the results as much as possible. Utah doesn't have a huge inmate population. It's about 6,500. So I'm not sure exactly why they make you do that, maybe to make sure that you're not just kind of like, combing this information for some other reason. I'm not really sure. But in any case, you do have to have at least a little more information than just a last name to go on. One good thing about Utah is that they will give you results even if you know someone by an alias, as long as that alias is known by the Utah Department of Corrections. So if you search for someone and you don't know them by their given or legal name, you may still get results for that. So that's a plus for sure. I'm going to go ahead and pop a name in so we can see what kind of results we get. Okay, so I've gone ahead and put in a last name. Actually, it's a partial last name and a partial first name, so we get kind of a wider net than we might ordinarily get. Now, I've done a couple of searches on this page already today. Normally what would happen when you hit this search, and I'm just going to jump over to our Inmate Search Info Utah page for a second. Normally what you would get is this user agreement. And the user agreement is basically just you saying that you understand that the information that they're publishing is not necessarily up to the minute accurate. They publish the information for public interest, for public record, and it's only to be used sort of for informational purposes. They're not 100% guaranteeing that everything there is correct or up to date. So you want to be careful how you use this information. There are certain types of background checks and kinds of things that are governed by different areas of the law, such as decisions regarding credit or decisions regarding housing, employment, things like that, that this information that you get from this page is not necessarily going to qualify for. So you're going to want to be careful about how you use this information. Don't want to get yourself into trouble by misusing it. Obviously, you also don't want to use this information for any kind of threatening or harassment purpose. Again, that's something that you can run afoul of the law on, and you don't want to do that. But before you do this search, before you use it for anything that might fall under any kind of law, you want to check with a legal professional. So with that disclaimer out of the way, assuming that you've gone ahead and checked the box and then you hit submit, you'll get some results. So there we go. So if you're on mobile, you may need to scroll down the page a little bit and you get the list of results here. Now, as I mentioned, the results will also include those who have used aliases that fall into the category of the partial information that you put in there. So obviously this person, their legal given name is different from anything that we put here, but obviously that's an alias that they're known by. And yeah, you can see it. So T. Smith, that's why they came up there. Now, as you can see, there isn't a whole lot of information here. You do get this offender number, so that's something maybe useful for future reference. You get the date of birth, which if you know it, that will certainly help you to make sure you've got the right prisoner. And then you have some kind of basic descriptions, demographics about the person. So this person being under parole, we don't have a housing facility or parole date because that's already passed. Let's see, they don't actually tell you on the main page, so that's not terribly helpful. But because they are still under the supervision of the Department of Corrections in Utah, they are still listed. But presumably once they're finished with their parole, they would no longer come up in the results. Let's click on someone who maybe is still in prison. They're also on parole. What are the odds? And it's another parole. And let's see. Let's find someone. Probation. Okay, actually, let's go back for a sec. Nope. There we go. Okay. So here we have someone who actually is in jail. And the only reason I went through that trouble was just to show you that they will tell you which jail they're located in or which prison facility they're located in and a possible parole date. So you are able to get information at least relating to key dates. And as far as the facility itself, they don't give you a link directly to that. So we do have on our Utah page here, we do have kind of a list of the different facilities, contact numbers, things like that. So that may be of interest to you if you want to check that out. Yeah, pretty stripped down page. No photos obviously available. So you're going to have to kind of hopefully know the date of birth. Maybe this description helps a little bit because the population is quite small. Hopefully you can find the person you're looking for if you're sure they're in the correction system. But if you are trying to locate someone who maybe isn't in the system currently, isn't part of these results, you're going to want to do probably a more general kind of background check, which may be helpful in terms of locating them. And that's something we can help you with on our Utah page as well. Now, because there isn't a whole lot here to look at, I thought I would show you a couple of other types of searches that Utah does offer. So there is an option to search for warrants. So that's some people who would be obviously not under the Department of Corrections system, although they should be probably. So you are able to do searches on that basis. So if you're curious about someone maybe who is out, or again, if it's someone that you're looking for, there is a search for that as well. I always love these CAPTCHAs. Let's make sure I find all the boats there. And, oh, there we go. So this was working a moment ago. Let's try it one more time and see. Maybe we'll have luck this time. There we go. Okay, so you are able to see kind of active warrants for folks. So again, this is something that you don't want to use this, you don't, especially in the case where I've used a very general name, you don't want to use this for any kind of official legal purpose, but obviously it is something that you may be interested in with regard to, people that you may have come into contact with or are planning to. So that could be something of interest to you. One other type of search that is available that will help you with finding people who are out on the outside, and that's this other kind of offender search, which most typically known as a sex offender search. And so that's something you can do, and that will give you results based on where the person is located, and there typically are accompanying photos as well. Let's take a quick look at that. Okay, I always feel like I'm picking on Michael Smith's here, but just to make sure we get some results, and I'm assuming we will. Sorry, it is working just slowly. Okay, so again, we're getting results for aliases as well. So here we do get photos and things, and you will get an address. Usually they'll give you a place of employment as well. Well, this person's incarcerated. So they are including people who are in prison that are on the sex offender registry that are in prison. So that may be kind of a workaround if you're trying to find some information on someone who may be in prison for specific types of offenses. This is a way you could maybe get a little more information on, on where they are or at least who they are, because you are able to see a photo here, which you don't get on the normal offender page, of course. So again, that may be kind of one workaround. And then obviously it does give you information for folks that are not incarcerated, that are out and about. And like I say, they do typically have, let's see, yeah, they give you the vehicle, and they do give you information on employment often as well. You can also do searches if you're just kind of generally interested based on location, just a general area. So, again, maybe if you're thinking about moving or, you're curious about an area, that's another way you can do kind of a search for that. So that pretty much covers Utah. Again, a little bit limited on the offender search side, but they do offer some other resources where you can get a little bit more information, and you're able to, maybe get some insights into some folks that you're interested in. So for links to all three of these kinds of searches, as well as some other information, we've got our database there, background checks, things like that. please feel free to check our link below in the description to our Utah page. Thanks so much for watching.